The River Helms, just outside Littlehempston, which is just outside Bovey. Oh, we're going to have an epi now with a willow and a gate. Come on, Will. Oh, come, welcome. It's amazing. I'm pretty sure one of the children in school caught with a... Yes, it's a real shame. Most of the rivers I come across in Devon are in good fettle, but this one is definitely not. It's quite severely polluted. And I get a bit cheesed off with... get these wild swimming groups on Facebook. I love them a bit because they share all these wonderful places, but you're not allowed to, woohoo, I almost went for a swim. But you're not allowed to share where things have gone wrong. So whether it's pollution or river access, 'cause that's the other one, isn't it, in the UK. But I'd imagine this is largely dead. When you get to the bits with the rocks, you can clearly see. So I'm not sure whether it's a sewage treatment works, which is working beyond its capabilities, or whether it's intensive farming. And you know, I'm a farmer's son, so I'm very pro farming, but poor old farmers, it's you know, the governments insist that it's the public's responsibility to go and buy, you know, food that is ethically produced in terms of the welfare standards of the animals, but also of, you know, looking after the land. But actually, you know, the poor farmer's struggling to make a living, and when it comes down to it, you know, it's a bit like Hugh Whittenstall did that wonderful documentary series on chickens, and he made an impact for a short period of time, very short period of time, and then people went back to buying the cheap chickens again, you know, forgetting, you know, what they're actually buying. You know, if they went and actually saw the intensive chicken unit, that they wouldn't eat that chicken. And yet go to KFC, which I love too. I mean, this is a beautiful valley, and somebody's planted up all these trees here. Yeah, but yeah, going back to the government, it's bollocks. You know, the government needs to take responsibility and pass legislation to protect the public and encourage farming practices which are going to support the environment and the land, and you know, not at and then at the same time, you know, producing food that's good for us to go and eat, rather than actually what's cheap and got a long shelf life, which is what the supermarkets and the idea of, you know, enterprise is always going to go and produce what's best for us is unfortunately bollocks. I was watching a documentary, and I thought, oh gosh, yes, you're right, they're talking about electric vehicles, and actually what's having the biggest impact is not electric cars, is electric bikes and scooters, and the fact that legislation around the Western world is significantly behind the technology. But they were saying, you know, if everybody switched to electric cars, that's not going to solve, you know, our carbon crisis and global warming, all those sorts of bits and pieces. Public transport, and then so if the government was really serious about solving these, we'd have free public transport. And there's a railway line running just through this valley, and this valley is absolutely gorgeous. And it's really not that intrusive, you know, having a train go past, you know, compared to the A38 with a dual carriageway. And so, you know, I guess the poor old government in their term, you know, they're always thinking about their next votes, and so they don't want to go and tackle those complex problems that make them pass legislation which is maybe not what people want. You know, expensive cars to go and run, and reducing the energy. I mean, you know, we've got the worst housing stock in Europe. I was listening to another program here. Like, you can see how bad the pollution is here. It's really not great. Yeah, so I think I'm skipping around all over the place, but I think these Facebook groups are dodging our responsibility. You know, we need to, when we see where things have gone wrong, we need to document that, and then go and publicise that, and then go and bring pressure to go and improve things. And if all you do is show the positive nature, then we're not going to solve these problems, are we? You're just putting your head in the sand. I love this. Obviously, this bit of land's owned by these people in here, and so they've got a lovely bit of fence in here, which is just for aesthetics, isn't it? Yeah, they're not going to let any livestock in here, all the trees they planted. But they've done a cool bit with a barn. It's not been converted to live in, but they've taken out some of the sheets of corrugated iron and put windows in there, and it's kind of cool. You know, actually those rusty corrugated iron sheds, what an incredible shed that is. I mean, that would make 2 or 3 houses. But, and there's a cracking pub here. Go, just as I was talking about it, the train went past. I was a bit slow in getting my... But that's not intrusive, is it? You know, compared that to a dual carriageway or an A road, you know, trains are they're a past solution, and actually I think they're a future solution. But we've got a difficult bit in England where we're so intensively, you know, the land is so intensively used, and we've got such a high population that when you want to go and put new railway lines in, you're going to upset a lot of people, and so they don't happen.